Welcome to Builds with Blocks, a show centered around the micro action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. I'm your host, Gabe Clem, and today I'm joined by my colleagues Colin Perkins.
How's it going?
And Thomas Fishenden.
Oh, I like it.
That's a beauty.
Totally hit my microphone then, so I lifted it up, but we're going to go with it.
Today, the gentlemen have graciously allowed me to take the reins since my main job has been working with these micro action figures for a little over 7 years. And this is an episode I'm really excited to discuss with everyone. To me, part of what makes the Halo line from Mega stand out from all of their others, besides all of their very nice vehicles and builds, are the micro action figures that are included in every one of their sets. From fan favorite named characters, classic multiplayer Spartans, Marines, or almost any of the enemy factions imaginable, there's more than likely a figure for you to find and enjoy. Over the years, Mega has given us literally thousands of these wonderful micro action figures that have evolved over time, from the original ball-jointed figures from the earlier lines to the more current super articulated series that have removable armor or customizable weapons. Today we'll be taking some time to sit and discuss which of those figures we believe any figure fan would like to have in their collection. Before we dive into the main topic of the show, however, why don't we take a trip around the group and talk about what everybody's been into, what we've been building, and what projects we've been working on. So, Tom, I'll pass it to you. Fill us in. How have you been?
Been alright, yeah. When was the last time we did a Builds with Blocks? Quite
A couple weeks. I think it was before Infinite dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Been playing a lot of Halo Infinite. I think it was before Jurassic World Evolution 2 came out, and I got some press access to that, so I've been playing a lot of that as well. And I've built a couple of mocks that I've not uploaded videos on yet, so done a few things, had a couple of things going on.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Colin, what about you?
I built the Razorback. That was pretty good.
I still need it.
Pretty good. It was weird though, because when you open the box, and do you remember, like, I think there's another Warthog. It's I think it's our favorite Warthog, which is that one again with a little like Promethean stand in the middle. Anyway, you open the box, it's like a bigger box, and you get like these giant plastic bags, and there's just not many pieces in each bag. So I'm like, what's going on? It feels like there's like not many pieces in here. So I wasn't sure about the build just from that initial reaction, initial opening of the box. But then once you start putting it together, it feels a little more intricate than the Warthog Rally. Different. The suspension is the same, but everything else is a little bit different. So I'm really happy with it now that I've actually played with the Razorback and driven it around in Halo Infinite, which is a cool experience.
I was going to mention Mega, like when you look at the Mega Construx Razorback to the one that's in game, it's just like the Chopper. Like those things are 1-to-1. They did an amazing job with that build.
Yep. Yeah, I really like it. I had a little issues with my windshield not clicking in there, right? But other than that, like everything felt really good. I really like the back, how you has where you put those power seeds. It like has that considered in the back. So yeah, overall, really happy with that. And I got the figures right here. I've just kind of been putting those together. So here's my Kelly, and I got everybody else. And then other than that, I've been organizing my office a little bit. You guys can't see it, but it was a giant mess over here in the corner from all of the, what did we rank? The Halo 5 sets, I think. So I had all those.
I was going to say, every time we record, you'd always reach down and grab something. I was like, how does he have all that stuff just there? Like, what?
So those have just been sitting in my office forever, and now I've at least removed them from my office. So I still need to
they're just sitting downstairs by the front door now.
Pretty much, yeah. They're just gonna
walk in army.
So trying to get a little more organized. But yeah, excited to have this conversation because I'm not the figure guy. You guys are more the figure guy. Obviously, Gabe is, but you guys have more insight into that sort of thing. I have my favorites mainly based off characters and things like that. But this will be a fun conversation for me to learn as much as hopefully the viewers do as well.
I'm definitely excited. I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot since I was last on the show. I haven't been here for a couple episodes. I know it's been you and Tom and you and Matt and all kinds of. I haven't been here for a little bit. Mega specifically has been really slow. I mean, I've been making custom figures, but like none of the. I haven't seen a Razorback in stores.
I
haven't really
think
gone
they're at
shopping.
Walmart. I haven't seen them at Target yet.
I might have to pop into Walmart then. I haven't been shopping in a couple weeks. All right. Well, now that we've gone around the table, I think we should dive into the main topic of best, to us, the best Mega Construx Halo figures.
Yeah.
So
So the way
can I
that-
just preface it really quickly? Best, because again, you guys are the figure guys. So, and best is subjective, right?
Very
So I trust your guys' opinion more than I trust my opinion, because I'll be like, oh, there is painting there. Okay, like I won't even notice a lot of stuff that you guys notice. Like, yeah, that's neat. So a lot of mine, and maybe I jump on the gun here, but a lot of mine are gonna be like my favorite character that also has a mega figure. A mega
I've
figure.
done the same
That's
as well
totally
for a lot
fine.
of mine. Yeah.
The way that I kind of wanted to set it up was that we would each just have 5 figures that we really, really enjoy. So, like Colin said, best is very subjective. I mean, they're not must-haves, but certainly figures that I think you would like to have in your collection if you're into that sort of thing.
You
What's up?
watching right now can let us know what your top 5 Mega Construx figures would be in the comments down below, and we would love
Absolutely.
to read them.
Yep, we check those and we comment on them, so that'd be a fun conversation to have. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll do it going one at a time, listing out
Okay.
each of our 5. So I will give it to you, Colin, since
Okay.
you've now excited me so much, and I want to hear your first pick. What's one of your favorite figures?
So I'm gonna ask you real quick: are you guys gonna go top to bottom, bottom to top? Are you gonna end with your favorite figure?
I don't
I
have mine
haven't
ranked.
ranked the 5.
You just kind of doing a pool.
Yeah,
I just
Okay.
grabbed 5 and went,
Figure
yeah,
out
they're
cool.
cool.
All right. Well, I'm gonna grab one then. I'll grab a weird one. I'll grab the Promethean battle wagon.
Cool.
The Promethean Knight.
Ooh,
Like that thing is
love it.
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I do like, Prometheans are weird in Halo, right? Some people aren't fans, some people are. The fact that they exist, I think, is great in Halo. And then the fact that the mega versions exist. There's a decent amount of them, not a ton, but there's a decent amount of them. And the fact that they pull off the knights so well, I think they're great. They feel pretty well scaled. They got that huge, like base body with the tiny little legs and tiny little arms and Watcher that pops out the back. But they did a battle wagon, which are the ones that have like the flames popping out of their back. And this one is from the Lights and Sounds, the gunship, right? The Pelican gunship.
Yeah.
And so it actually does have a little button in the back. Or I think you knock it. I think you knock it and then it lights up a little bit. And it's got the face that opens up and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I think the face is already just
It's like,
static.
pre-split.
Yeah, the face
yeah.
is molded with each of the little plates sticking out, and it's got the skull in the middle.
Yeah, so that thing's just rad, right? Like super cool.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rare too, I'd imagine. I mean, it's really the only one that they've done. They've done knights, but they've only done one battle wagon, and I think they pulled it off really well.
Yeah,
Solid pick.
Yeah, it's cool. You can like interswap that headpiece as well. So obviously the knights in the game, it doesn't matter what rank they are. They all kind of do that thing where their skull comes out when they're angry. So I like it. You can take that piece off and swap it between the other knights as well to sort of add some dynamicism to all of them. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody has done it, but I would love to see somebody implement that piece specifically into like a stop motion.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be
Matt,
amazing.
if you're watching,
We should get on Matt. Hey Matt,
Yeah.
I'll send you a battle wagon if you make me.
He's
an
cursing
animation.
us right
That'd
now.
be
We're
awesome.
setting expectations.
That'd be amazing. That's a solid first pick. I like that figure a lot. I know I hunted that one down for a long time because when I was like 12, I couldn't buy myself a Pelican. So it wasn't until a couple years ago I could actually afford just the
You
knight
didn't have
from,
a disposable income at 12 years old? What?
Unfortunately not.
They're out there. I mean, you could probably get lucky in a random lot too, perhaps, and just one will pop in there. But because some people just won't know what they have. And I haven't checked eBay and to see what that.
I wish that Mega would. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wanted the drop ship or the gunship specifically, and then he was like a part of that, and I realized how cool he was as part of the set.
Yeah. I just wish they would have made more. It seems like they made like a lot of the Lancer, which is the one that's got all the spikes.
Mm-hmm.
They made that one like 4 or 5 times, and they only ever made one battle wagon.
In the battle pack. The fact that the Lancer came in the battle pack over the normal knight still blows my mind.
Yeah, that was very confusing times, but so be it. Tom, so we've got Promethean Knight battle wagon for Colin. What's yours? What's your first?
I'm gonna go with the Spartan CQC from Series 7 of the Halo Heroes.
Okay.
Just because I think that the two-tone colours they chose for that CQC are really nice. I think it's got some little paint applications on the armour as well. And it's also the CQC armour, which they hadn't made before that point. And it looks really, really crisp. I really like how that armour came out. And to top it all off, you get a painted concussion rifle. So, what's not to love?
That's true. That's actually one of the only like Heroes figures that I have like copious amounts of. I think I have like 5 or 6 of those CQC figures because it's great. It looks so smooth and clean. That's a really nice one. I like that a lot.
What makes the great Heroes Spartan? Because there's a lot of just Heroes generic Spartans. There's a lot of the named ones, and then there's a lot of generic ones. And then there's, like, from my perspective, again, it's like subjective. Like, do you like that style of armor? And then do you also like the paint job, right? And it probably has to be some sort of like a happy medium between the two.
I can. Do you want me to jump in first?
Yeah.
So, for me, because I'm more of a campaign person than a multiplayer person, it's a Spartan that looks like it could be at home in the campaign as well. So those like more muted colours, like greys, greens, colours that you would expect to see on Spartans in the game. And then also a big factor for me actually is the weapon choice. And if it's a weapon where maybe we don't get a painted version of that often, so it's quite desirable to add that to the collection as well from the sort of photography standpoint of having more painted weapons.
That makes sense. Cool.
I think I mean, to me, I would like for the heroes to have more armor that's not so widely available in like armor packs or battle packs or things. Like, I feel like if the heroes are supposed to be like specialty figures, they should have like special armor. The paint app, I mean, seriously, get up, please. The paint apps is probably my favorite part. Like, the Series 9 Soldier Spartan, the white one with all the red stripes on them, and the beam rifle Alpha. Like, that's gorgeous. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah. The CQC, it is really nice though. I do like the natural colors, like browns and greens, everything like you said. But I like it. That's a good pick. I think they did a blue CQC, the brown one, and a green one, right?
Yeah.
Was there one in the 10th anniversary? Was there a CQC in there?
No.
Forget. I was gonna just say sometimes, so like the best figure, because you mentioned the soldier one, I feel like it's not always the one that is gobbled up either on shelf. So I feel like I saw soldiers like in boxes when I was collecting. Even though like you commented on, you said that was a nice one, but of the heroes that are out, 6 and now 5, there's always 1 or 2 that are left in the box, right? And that may be a really nice figure. It's just not the most well-known figure from a a Halo fan standpoint.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my first one ready. This is a good one to me. The 10th, the Halo Heroes Series 10, I think it was the Mega's Anniversary Series rookie figure.
Yes.
Good.
Golden.
I got a couple reasons for this. Because that rookie figure was the second iteration they did of him. The first one came in the UNSC Wombat drone from like 2014, 2015. But this one, it had like 4 different colors of gray. It came with a backpack. It came with, like, on the chest, on the left side of the chest, was a printed Eagle Globe and Anchor. Yeah. Eagle Globe and Anchor emblem. And obviously it came with a golden SMG, but if you replace it with a black SMG, that ODST figure literally looks like it's straight out of the game. Like it's just one of their most, I don't know if realistic is the right word, but like it just, something about it just calls out to me. It's such a pretty looking figure.
Yeah.
It's a good
And I mean, it doesn't even say like rookie anywhere on his armor, so you could just use them as generic ODSTs. Really,
True.
it's a great army builder.
Yeah, I think it sets an interesting precedent for Alpha 9 going forward as well. Because up until that point, they'd all been done with the white forearms and thigh armor, as you say.
Yeah.
But now he was done with that gunmetal color, and that gunmetal color is the same color it's used on Mickey in the 20th anniversary pack as well. So I have a feeling we'll be getting new releases of the rest of Alpha 9 down the line as well to match up to that.
New resurgence of them, huh? I hope. I really hope. I just got a commission and somebody sent me the Dare and the Mickey from the anniversary pack, and they are so packed with detail. They look amazing.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, I mean, all of the original Alpha 9 members are super hard to find now. Not even just Mickey. Like Heroes 1 Buck, Mickey's with the Pelican, Dutch is at like 4-pack. Like they're
Plus, this time around, they could have interchangeable head sculpts.
Yeah. Give them all unhelmeted versions. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually. That would be nice.
I would dig it.
Vega, I'm right here.
Colin.
Just poach me anytime.
There you go. All right, Colin, what is your second choice for your 5?
Who else do I want to mention here? I have a list. I'll go with I'm going to go with my second big one. I'll get them both out. So I'll go with the Pelican Inbound Hunter.
Yeah,
so the most recent Pelican, the super articulated Hunter, and just that crisp paint job on top of it, right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's not over the top. Like the Remnant Hunter is nice, but it's like too red. And this one is a better, I don't know, balance between the silver, the gray, and the red. So I really like the paint applications of that one. And just the super articulated, the new Hunters are just leaps and bounds of the old ones. So I'm a big fan of that, and I'm glad that they gave us that into a really huge set and really nice set overall.
Yeah.
Was that
the problem is I just want
time...
to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was going to say, was that the first time we got the fuel rod pieces in red as well? Because I don't think they were red on the Remnant Hunter, were they?
Oh, those little things that stick out the side.
Yeah.
No, I think they were green in the Remnant Hunter, I want to say.
Yeah. Every Hunter had green ones except for the one that came in the Wasp. Those were blue for the Elder Hunter.
Mm-hmm. I almost mentioned the Elder Hunter. That one was nice too, but I feel like... Yeah.
Like it. You got a second pick, Tom?
No, I only picked one.
That was it.
That was it. I'm done.
For the win.
So my second pick is, and I'm just bringing a picture up of it to check what it's referred to as. So on the Mega Construx website, it's referred to as the Oni Technician from the Oni Strike Team pack.
I know what you're talking about.
One of my favorite missions of all time in Halo is the Halo 4 mission that I can't even remember the name.
Must be your favorite.
Man. The one I wanted to say Midnight, but I don't think it is because is the final mission Shutdown and then is that Midnight? It might be Midnight.
Shutdown's in the middle. Midnight's the end.
Midnight is the one you're.
Well, this is the mission before Midnight on Ivanov Station. Yes, that's it. There we go. I just love how the Oni Marines look. So I really like the Halo 4 Marine design, and I think in darker colors they look really awesome. And this is like the only time we've ever really got a proper version of that in super articulated form. Because there was one in the Echo blind bag series, but it wasn't really spot on. Whereas this one, you've got like paint on the shoulders, You've got the grey helmet paint, and then also little white highlights on the side of the helmet attachment.
Yeah.
Just loads of detail packed in for a Marine, and I think it looks really, really good in those darker colours. So much so that I have 4 of the only Strike Team pack.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I have 1.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
Insane.
I love it.
I like it. It makes me sad that not enough people are fans of the Halo 4 Marine design.
Yeah.
Like, I think that figure specifically is great, but I think Halo 4 Marines look awesome, especially the Oni ones. Because I think, wasn't that same Marine you're talking about, wasn't there a non-articulated version released before? Or was that the green one?
Oh, I can tell you a really fun story about this, Gabe. Thank you very much.
Listen.
So that one came in one of the old armory packs. So the only armory pack it's ever come with a painted Stanker. And that armory pack, the core production run was grey with dark black highlights. But there was an error production run that was very, very hard to find, where you would get just a Halo 4 Marine that was all black with no highlights on it whatsoever, and apart from the face and the goggles. And I managed to get 3 of that pack back in the day. So I had 3 just all black Halo 4 Marines that looked really awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be awesome.
The Halo 4 ones are the ones that Matt says they're wearing hockey pads, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones. I don't know. I like them. Oh, my second one of my favorite figures Mega has ever done is actually probably going to surprise a lot of people. It's the original Brute Chieftain.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Is that the one that was in the their special weapon? What do they call it?
Like the
chopper? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It came in the second chopper they ever did, as well as a 4-pack where it was in gray and blue, and then it came in the NMPD Pelican where it had a nice fade on the helmet. I'd say, like, if you looked at the paint apps, everybody would probably pick the NMPD one over the red and gray one, but just because like of how classic that red and gray Brute Chieftain is, he's like one of my favorite figures ever. I think at one point I had like 6 of those because I would trade people. I just loved it so much, and I'm so sad that we got articulated Brute Majors and Minors and Captains, but we never got a Chieftain. And Mega has given us a Halo Infinite version of the Brute Chieftain, but like I would do so many things if I could have an articulated Halo 3 Brute Chieftain. I think they're so cool. Yeah. And
so
even as an original figure.
Sorry, what sets it apart from the new ones that we have? Like just the style, like the Halo 3 style?
Well, in my eyes, the new Chieftain is really just a new helmet, a new chest. The shoulders, the forearms, the legs, everything else is just a regular banished Brute. But for the Halo 3 Chieftain, the original articulation one, every single piece is like a Halo 3 Brute Chieftain. Like it's got the thighs, lower legs, the wrist, the shield on the arm, the shoulders, the chest, the helmet. Like the whole thing is game accurate as it could be at that time period. And then, I mean, comes with a gravity hammer. And surprisingly, at least in my experience, its articulation is a lot better than you would think.
Yeah.
Because it has one of those rubber, what would you call that?
It's a loincloth.
Yeah, like a loincloth, that decorative loincloth. It has one of those, and it allows for really good leg articulation. I've seen people do amazing things with that.
Cool.
Love it.
I've been sat very perked up while you were saying that, because I literally got one the other day. The NMPD Cruiser has a visor mode version of it, so it's one of the few figures they've done in visor mode as well. And I never noticed in Halo 3 that the Brute Chieftains have a shield on one of their forearms. So when I was looking at that figure, I was so confused. I was like, is this a deformity on this figure? Why is there like a little pad on it? Have they put a shoulder pad on the forearm? And it caused me to go back and reassess my whole knowledge of Chieftains in the game.
You didn't know that Halo 3 Brute Chieftains had a big shield on their left arm. What?
Never noticed it, because I always kill them too quickly.
Wow. Big Halo Pro guy over here. Okay. Well. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna give it back to Colin, who might know what he's talking about. So what's your number 3?
Should we stay on the brute train? We might as well. I'll give it to my boy, the Atriox. Atriox. Was he Series 3, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, just happened to have a little Atriox. That was one of the first figures that I sought out because I'm a big fan of him and the Banish in general. And I think they did a great job. They've done 3 now. So they did the original Heroes version. They did the gummy version in the blind bag series, the red one. And then we did use a gold one in the 20th anniversary character pack. But the original one has, good paint apps. It looks like Atriox, from structurally, and yeah, his paint job I think is solid as well. So overall, great representation of Atriox, the character. It does bring up the question that we talked about in the past of like, I do wish brutes were just a little bit bigger so that they could tower over the Spartans the way that they do in universe. But we always call back to our conversation with Kevin to say, well, if someone wanted to pop Atriox and Chief in a Warthog, they could do that. If he was a giant, this wouldn't work. So, and I buy that because they did make bigger Destiny Cabal figures, those bigger dudes. But that was a different line and all that sort of thing. So, I'm happy with how they represent Atriox. I think he's a great figure. So, at one point, this is a random story, but I think on Shop Goodwill, like 50 of them showed up. Like on, like somebody must have had a whole bunch of them and put them on, gave them to Goodwill, and somebody snagged them for a bunch of dollars. And then of course they showed up on eBay soon after that. But
I'm surprised you didn't buy them.
I thought about it. Thought hard.
I would have hopped on that. Wow.
Price tag got kind of high, but yeah. So I'm happy with Atriox. He's good, and I don't know if you can see. There's a big Atriox, a 12-inch way back there.
Oh, is that the Mattel one? Yeah.
I'm so jealous of that. I want that in Arbiter so bad.
Oh right, yeah. I don't think I saw that.
Arbiter is so rare.
I know. I've never seen one in person. I don't know anybody that has one. You're the only other person I know that has that Atriox. Oh my gosh.
There was a Kmart that was closing near me a couple years ago, and they had a ton of those things. I just grabbed the one.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would say one of my favorite parts about the Atriox figure or figures is the chainbreaker, his little mace.
It's unique.
That's such a detailed, unique piece, and I'm very impressed with Mega for actually making it. Like, of course, it's his signature thing, but like they made it really well. It looks amazing.
I find it. I was going to say, I find it really interesting how the budget allocations must have worked with that, because obviously he was at the time the primary character in Halo Wars 2, the primary antagonist. Mm-hmm. So I imagine his figure got more budget, which is interesting when you then look at Tartarus, who they've always decided to give a gravity hammer instead of the gavel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Fist of Rucht.
Yep.
I wonder about that. Mega, please.
Yeah, just interesting tidbit I thought was worth mentioning.
My only question is the chainbreaker big enough? Like, it feels the one that maybe it is. It's probably a hard thing to scale, right? Like, you can make
the scale that Atriox is currently in MCX, it is. If he was any bigger, I would like it to be a little bit longer. Like with because I've made a custom Atriox that stands, I think it's 3/8 of an inch taller than a Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
And I lengthened the chain breaker a little bit just so it fit in his hand better. But I think for what they made, I think it fits fine.
Plus, you compare it to the gravity hammer, and the gravity hammers are all huge, right?
They're
a giant thing, and then the chain breaker. But the chain breaker, I mean, it's good, like you said. It's well painted and good representation. So
I'd love.
So, I don't want to drag this out too long, but I remember when I read Shadows of Reach, I had a mental thought about that as well, because it describes the brutes having like energy maces hanging from their belts in that, and I always interpreted that as maybe being similar to the Chainbreaker, So it would be like practical enough to hang from a belt as well.
Sure, and it would be dragging on the ground. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Be cool. Well, what is your number 3, Tom? Do you have a brute you could toss into the group?
I don't, unfortunately, but Colin has been talking about Series 3, and it is number 3, and I think it's worth mentioning the Elite Honor Guard at this point.
Yes, of course.
One of the most coveted figures still for super articulated collectors. Perfect color scheme with the additional paint applications for the Honor Guard highlights, and just a really, really solid sculpt. Mega have always done them well. They committed to making the actual ceremonial staff back in the non-articulated line, and that then carries over nicely here. And I think it's just a great figure, so I'm really excited that we're getting the Light of San Helios in 2022 using that sculpt as well.
Yeah. I think the Series 3 Honor Guard was probably my favorite figure for a really, really, really long time. Like that was, it's definitely one.
And
of the top
then this
3.
little dude came out, and you were sold.
Yeah, and then everything else was in the garbage. Pop.
Trade all from.
I think I've got a total of like 20 Honor Guard like plates.
Yeah.
From how many I've just bought over the years, because the thing is, Mega, listen, please. The Honor Guard mold, the Honor Guard chest, the back piece, and even the thighs to an extent are the H2A model. So if they would take the chest and the back piece and the lower legs from like the Halo Wars 2 elites and put them on Artas, we would have a game accurate Artas figure, and it's all I want. And I've already done a custom like that, and it's the only thing I want them to do.
Gabe, we need an intervention here. Let's turn off the cameras. We need to have a chat.
We need them to fix it. Honor Guard is a really clean figure, though. I'm excited for the Light of San Helios. Is it called in that series Light of San Helios, or is it just Honor Guard Ultra?
It's Light of San Helios, and it says it on the display stand.
Getting on the lore, huh? I like it. Well, speaking of elites, I don't know how this wasn't the first one that I said, but my all-time
I wonder who it could be after you just mentioned customizing a character.
No. My all-time favorite Mega Construx figure that they've ever done is the Halo 5 Arbiter in his Kaidan.
Is it? So wait, is this the one that came with the Hog? Okay, the Goshawk.
Came with the Goshawk, and it came in the 2015 exclusive trio pack.
Yeah. Is it the same exact thing?
And there's an active camo one in Echo series, I think. Or is that Foxtrot, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's Echo, because it's so bloody hard to find.
Yeah. The difference between the Goshawk and the trio pack is the trio pack is more of a deep metallic gold.
Yeah, it is.
Sword. The one in the Goshawk is like a really bright yellowy gold.
Sure. Okay.
But the moment I saw the mold, I remember watching a video of like 2015's New York Toy Fair, and I saw like the little Arbiter figure next to the Warthog, and I just couldn't stop staring at it. I think it is there's so many spines all down his neck going down to his back. There's some on the back. All of the layered plates on his thighs, his shoulders, and his lower legs. Like, he just looks so sharp, literally and figuratively. Like, he is such a clean looking figure. However, there's one extremely large gripe I have with this figure, specifically the one from the Goshawk. The color that they use for his armor, that yellowy gold, must be like the most brittle thing that they have, because I've customized maybe like 4 or 5 of those arbiters for people, and I've never ever been able to remove his chest piece without the pieces breaking.
Oh, really?
Like, I've had so many arbiter figures break and crumble because the plastic they use to mold his armor in is so brittle. Or it was. Maybe they've switched it.
I'm never removing the armor from my San Diego Comic Con exclusive now.
don't. I didn't from my SDCC one, but like the one from the Gosshog, I tried to paint it and I took the chest off, and both of these parts here just snapped right in half.
Oh no!
So while it's a really, really cool figure and it's still in my top 5, it's just so brittle. So like anyone out there, if you have this figure, please leave him alone. Don't touch him. Put him in a glass box.
Well, I feel like that one is fairly common too, right? That was the first set I grabbed back in 2015. I hadn't started collecting that, but I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's like Chief and Arbiter and a hog, right? Not the right hog, but it's Goss hog. It's fine. In a cool color. And I feel like I've gotten a couple in random lots too. So I think that figure is out there. Again, I don't know what it is to get secondhand.
The rare one is the active camo version.
Yeah.
I don't know any people that have that actually. I have one.
It's worth noting that Echo series as a whole is really, really rare, and it's actually quite frustrating when you look at it. Because if I pull a picture up of it quickly, it is one of the it's the only time we've ever got a red jump pack elite. It's the only time I think we've got a bronze new style. Oh no, it's not super articulated, but it's the bronze Halo 4 style Jackal. And then you've got like a bunch of fairly unique armors in there, like the Oceanic as well.
It was an amazing series.
And it just never popped up anywhere and went for really high prices on the aftermarket.
Mm-hmm. That was when I started. That was kind of where I drew a line when I started collecting. I wanted to get the heroes. Obviously, everybody wants to get the heroes. But then I was like, well, should I get all the figures? But then when I started looking up the blind bags and on the secondhand market and just the rarities, it's like, I can't. That's too much. I mean, if you do it, great, and if that's your thing, awesome. But I couldn't justify it for like the blind bag figures that were originally like $1 or $2, right, off the shelf. So that's just a hard one to swallow.
True. Only other thing besides the Arbiter's armor being brittle, I really wish we would have gotten an official Prophet's Bane.
Yeah.
The one that came in the trio pack was an energy sword that was molded in clear but painted a gold handle and it had like gold electricity all over it.
Lelo.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Lelo electricity paintouts.
So that's.
And I really wish we would have gotten like the official mold with the wavy blades.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
those guys in Mexico did one, didn't they? The people who did the CE Magnum. Yeah.
I have some of those, and they did a brilliant job on those 3D printed Prophet's Banes. Yeah. So I think that brings us to number 4. Does this be number 4 for you, Colin?
Yeah, I think it's back to me. Let's just keep this Healy train going. And I know you already talked trash about Urtas, Doom, but I mean, come on. He exists. He's there. He's in the 20th anniversary character pack. He has 2 mandibles. The other 2 are there, but they're chopped off as they should be. I think the fact that that's one of the characters that we've been wanting for a long time, and they gave them to us as a part of that pack is fantastic. And they gave him a solid treatment, right? Like a couple of tweaks to your point, Gabe, to make him, as game accurate as possible. But they did the thing with the helmet, and they did the thing with the face. And I think I do like his clean paint applications too. I think that's nice. During the review, when I was looking through him, I mean, he's a great mold, but his paint apps are simple. But when you look at him in game too, like his paint, his coloration is fairly simple too.
So, it's pretty
so they didn't feel the need to go over the top of that one, which is good. So Urtas Shipmaster, he's a great figure.
Oh yeah,
I
agree.
He'd be even better if he came with the other 2 mandibles as an accessory you could put in his hand.
Pull off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like a magnet or something. That helmet piece is probably one of the best elite designs Mega has done in a really long time. It looks dead on, like it's perfect. I really like it.
Yep.
Tom, you're number 4. What is it?
I am gonna go from the 2 figure pack, Halo 2 Super Articulated Master Chief.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think
I like
the more metallic green color, where it's got like the simulated battle damage, doesn't always work that well. I don't think it worked that well in the Infinite one, but I think it worked really well in that figure. And it's just, I actually, do you know what? No, I have lied to you, because I was thinking this through, and that was my original choice, because I was thinking I need a Master Chief on this list. And then my brain about 10 minutes ago went and then forgot, oh, what about the Halo 4 Master Chief in the Master Chief Collection Pack? And that is what I meant to go for, because that is the perfect Master Chief for capturing the color of the Chief on the box art. Like the grey green that they used for that Halo 4 Chief, bloody incredible. It is honestly my favourite Master Chief figure to date. So sorry Halo 2 Chief, get in the bin, because we're going for Halo 4 Master Chief. Oh.
I like it. That is an acceptable answer. I remember when I opened that set, I went straight for the Halo 4 Chief. And even the Halo 5 one's pretty good, but the contrast of that really bright, like orange gold visor against his super dark armor looked immaculate. And his railgun? The painted railgun, like that whole package was just amazing. That figure was awesome. That's definitely a good one.
So I didn't think we were supposed to open that.
Some of us may have acquired more than
it's
one
back there, and I haven't opened it. It's in there.
Let's say for photography reasons, some of us may have acquired more than one of them. I think in my defense, I did do a review on it, Colin, so I needed to get one that could be opened.
One sealed, one opened. I get it. I was only able to get one. That was thanks to you, Matt. Shout out to Matt. Hooked me up with the one because I didn't get in that. Get lucky with the original release, but yeah, it's nice. The whole collection is nice.
Oh, number 4.
I can see the pain in your face every time you have to make.
This was hard for me to choose between. I was stuck between like 3 different figures, but I think I'm gonna actually end up. I'm gonna keep going with the Covenant style. The Elite Warlord.
Yeah.
The yellow one, right?
The most recent, the Elite Warlord from Series 12.
13? 13, yeah.
Yeah, 13.
Definitely 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Series 13, the Halo Hero Series 13 Elite Warlord. That's right up there next to Arbiter, the Halo 5 Arbiter, for like one of the best Covenant or like Elite figures that Mega has ever done. I have never gotten so quickly obsessed with a figure before. It has a brand new helmet, new chest, new back, new shoulders. Even the legs, if they aren't new, the way that they're painted, they have black along the feet and on the back and on the like everything on that figure. He's got little Covenant symbols on each side of his chest. He looks immaculate, and I have 7 of them.
Oh my God. Wow.
I went to a Walmart and they had set out a fresh box. And I didn't take every one of them, but I did take a few because it's just such a good figure. Like it kind of looks like a mix between a Halo 4 Elite Warrior mixed with like a Halo Reach General, and it's just beautiful. I have nothing else to say. It's one of my favorite figures, and it is gladly in my top 5.
I remember the show when you were talking about you had found them or whatever, because you were the first one to have those in hand, and you were just glowing about that thing.
I was so happy.
Yeah,
you had a client send them to you, didn't you?
Yeah, I had one guy from California ship me 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then it was like a few weeks after that, I found some here in Virginia, and I was like, ooh, score.
Yep.
I hope Mega does them again. They've done the Ultra quite a lot now. And they've done the Combat Elite all over the place, but they've only done.
Feels very popular now as well.
Yeah, they've only done one of the Warlord Elites, and that's in that Hero series. So I hope we see more of him, like a lot.
I'm actually curious. I feel like Series 13 might still show up on shelf at some point, because I'm still going to my Target, and there's still like an empty box of 12 that's sitting there. I've seen 13s in store, I've seen 14s in store, but then every once in a while, like a box of 12 shows up. So I wonder if we will get one more round of 13 and then 14 before we go on to 15. We'll see.
I wouldn't mind. I never saw.
Bigger choices.
Yeah. I never saw Series 14 in stores. I don't own a single Series 14 figure. Actually.
Oh, you don't? They were there for a hot second. I got mine off the Amazon. There's a bundle on Amazon to buy them all.
I'll have to do some eBay hunting or something. But I think this takes us to number 5, your fifth and final figure, Colin.
Number 5. I have 2. Do I have to pick one?
Yeah, you do. That's
I'd
the
say
rules.
pick one to do an honorable
It's called
mention.
5, not 6.
All right.
You do an
Okay, well, so I have to stay true to my favorite characters. So I'm going to stay true to my favorite characters, and I'll have an honorable mention to talk about. But Kelly from Blue Team. So we gave Blue Team the second best set in Halo 5, and I think so. Gabe, you said that there's 2 versions of it, right? There's one where the paint, like the wash, the silver wash or whatever it is a little heavy. I think that's the one I have. But it's still, I was looking closer at it in the application. I mean, all the figures are great, but I like Kelly, the fast Spartan, right? I like her.
It's the British accent, too. Isn't it, Colin? I get it.
She shouldn't have a British accent, just it shouldn't inboard like a weird thing. Well, because she was, kidnapped when she was 6, and she was hanging out with.
So wait, are you saying that British people aren't going to make it into space, Colin? Is that what you're saying?
There was no British person. Well, maybe there was. Anyway, it's weird that she has a British accent. Nobody else does. Anyway, she I think she's great. She's got her shotgun, which I'm forgetting the name of, too, and yeah. So overall, they did a really good job. The whole pack is cool, and I got a special place for Kelly. So. Yeah, that'd be my one of my top 5s. Is definitely Kelly.
I remember getting the one from the fire base when she was just blue, and I think the one in actual Blue Team, she's got like the yellow pinstripes all over her armor, doesn't she?
Does.
Yeah, that one's super clean. I like that. I wish they did that armor more often. Actually. They always seem to replace the like arms and legs for the Hermes with like oceanic, like those big boxy chunky pieces, and I always hated that they did that because like the whole Hermes armor set is a beautiful armor, but that Kelly is a super good figure. The shotgun especially, it's awesome. It has great paint apps.
Yeah, and it took me a little while, and I already held this one up, but the new one, her helmet is a little bit different in this, but it's just an updated version of that helmet that they have now. So
yeah, it's close to like the Halo Legends looking one.
Yeah, I think it was on the cover of one of the books.
Tom, your number 5.
My number 5 is, of course, the grumpy old. No, I'm kidding. It is. Which one do I want to go with? Okay, so it's between 2 different variants of it. I think. Sorry, I've just noticed the spider on my desk. I think that it is gonna be the Series 6 version because of how widely available it was, and that is Captain Thomas Lasky, the Captain of the Infinity, because Lasky is one of my, if not my favorite, 343 era characters. I really enjoyed Forward Unto Dawn and like how he kind of goes behind Del Rio's back in Halo 4 to have the Chiefs back, knowing that John is in fact the boy. And I just think that the Halo 4 officer design is really cool. I like how it's got almost like a Battlestar Galactica kind of vibe to it with the design for it. I think that like tack uniform that they've got for the vest and then him having the holster as well looks really cool. And obviously being in the Hero series, you could easily get multiple of them, scrub off the captain stripes on the side and have a bunch of different crew members for the Infinity.
Yeah. Does he have paint apps underneath the chest piece?
No, it's just like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I wish, and Mega, if you're listening and you're preparing to do another Lasky, to take it to the next step, we've seen with figures like Linda now that you can print little circle lights. So put the little blue lights in the back of his armor that he has in the game.
That'd be clean.
That'd be cool.
What I was hoping was that because I'm pretty sure they're identical, except for maybe like a bar or two. But like Del Rio never got an official figure, and he's
Yeah.
literally Lasky, but with a different face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
really hope they
I would,
do one.
I would love to have another Lasky so that I could make a custom of that. But I was a fool, and I only ever got one Series 6 Lasky figure,
Yeah.
and I feel so dumb. But you're right, it is a super good looking one.
Yeah.
I argue it's better looking than the Infinity version of Lasky.
I prefer the Infinity one just because the colors are more authentic. I think that so in the Infinity he's dark grey, and in the Heroes he's like brown. I think
It's like an olive
tan.
drab.
Yeah, I think that's more due to the different lighting engine in Halo 5, because I think it's meant to be the same uniform. But one thing I will say actually is he doesn't have any paint for the tack pad on his wrist. And that's something they've never done, because they've not done it with Carter. They've not done it with the upcoming figure of Locke from Nightfall. So I think if they're going to keep iterating their paint applications, then the next thing I'd like to see is paint apps for the tack pads. Just like, doesn't need to be detailed, just a little bit of blue contrast colour so you get that it's a screen. Yeah.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
Yeah, they don't really have old faces yet, do they? They have done Halsey, but Chieftain doesn't really look old. But like that, maybe that's holding them back from doing Del Rio. Just how do you do a weathered action figure, at mass scale?
Yeah, how do you sculpt a crotchety old man?
They did.
It's kind of hard.
So they did Hudson in the Call of Duty line, and they made him look a bit older by giving him like loads of wrinkles above his sunglasses. So I might, if I'm feeling generous to our viewers, stitch a photo in here. If I'm not feeling generous, then I'll just delete me committing to that. But he's got quite a cool, slightly more aged design to him.
Gotcha. Cool.
But I think just in general, it would be nice to get more human heads. So this is going down a tangent a little bit, but I was thinking the other day with the Marines, especially because in Infinite there are so many Marines present without their armor on, that it would be really cool to get more different human heads with hair underneath the helmets as well.
Yeah. I would like. Well, we've always talked on this show about civilians, like how cool it would be to have civilian figures or like separatist figures.
If I just knocked something off, then let me find the one that's got the best example on it. It's not that one. It's this one. So these figures from the Pro Builders Martian rover.
Yeah.
I'll try and get a close-up photo of these. Again, being non-committal, I'll delete this if I decide not to. But you can see there's actually hair around the head as well.
I see that.
And it's the same sculpt that they use for the Infinite heads currently. So it is doable. So I'd like to just see them do it more, because even that works. Because there's paint inside the peg hole as well, so it just makes it a little bit more sightly to the eye, I find.
Well, they've done female hair, right?
Yeah.
But
like
for the guys, not so much.
And
Even
there's
cat,
a few different versions of those already, so.
Well, and so I'll mention. Maybe I'll just mention it now. This was an honorable mention I just wanted to talk about. Is the AA gun Marine?
Yeah.
It's the female, and she's got the ponytail, and she's all decked out. Like that's a really nice Marine. She's got the backpack, she's got the thigh holsters, all that sort of stuff. Like that is a great Marine. Like great encapsulation of the Infinite Marines is her. I think she has probably the longer legs as before they shortened them, but still overall like that. Like they packed as much into that one Marine as possible. So I feel like it's a good shout out.
Do you have any honorable mentions, Tom, before I go on to my number 5?
I didn't really think about honorable mentions.
Your Halo 2 Master Chief, perhaps?
Screw Chief. He's in the bin now. If can I do 2? Can I really push it after having to go at Colin for having 1?
Well, I have another one I want to mention, to be honest.
Colin, go ahead. Do your second one, and then I'll do my 2.
I'll just mention it. So Halo Heroes 9 George, awesome figure.
Yeah.
Solid.
Huge.
I need to bring the mic in for a minute. George is dead. Shout out to Aaron. So I've got two. The first one is going to be the Marine Sniper from Halo Infinite Wave 1 Heroes.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the camouflage work on that. And I would really love to see just normal Marines with camouflage BDUs at some point. I think especially for, say, like if we get more Halo 3 Marines in the future, if they're going to redo the helmet for them, might as well redo the legs as well. Give us that beautiful tropical camouflage, that kind of stuff. Just because it makes them feel even more grounded in reality, which I dig. And then my second honourable mention is going to be the NMPD Trooper, because I think it's so cool that when they did that NMPD subline, they went all in and just gave it all new molds to the point that even the legs are like civilian legs, dress trousers with shoes underneath. And I think the helmet looks really cool. And there's some really nice printing on the police vest for them with like the NMPD crest and the police text. So
Yeah.
I hope we get more of them in the Halo universe line at some point.
That'd be cool.
It's an underrated figure, I'd say. I kind of forgot about those guys. Those are really cool.
I have about like 8 of them in a little cubby hole behind me because I just got the cruiser to go with them, so I can have like a little NMPD squad. But all of my NMPD are sun bleached. So they've got like varying degrees. Some of them have got like really nice grey armor. It looks proper, and then some of them have got like really grotty looking brown armor now.
They got reverse tanned.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my number 5, before I do any honorable mentions, is actually, because I have a long history with this figure, the Halo 3 Mark 6.
Oh.
Like the basic like Master Chief armor. And it first appeared in a yellow and white customizer pack way back in like 2014.
Yeah.
And I think that I amassed over like 24 of them. Because those were the figures that I used to make an entire red versus blue squad. I made all of the reds, all of the blues, all of the freelancers. I made some of the separate, the insurrectionists. Like, that figure helped boost my work so much. And I had been waiting for it for so long. I tried to sculpt a Halo 3 Mark 6 one time, and I almost cried. It was so hard.
Oh my goodness.
Because they're like, that was an exaggeration. I didn't almost cry.
He cries every
They're
time.
like, it's such a specific look that like you can try to do it yourself, but if you don't get it exactly right, it'll look wrong, and you can tell.
Yeah.
So when they released that and I saw it, my mind was blown. I was so happy. And then of course they gave us Chiefs afterwards, and they did multiplayer Spartans, but like having that new chest, back, the shoulders, and the helmet, that made my life so much easier. But also, like, it just opened so many more possibilities for them. And I think that's when they started to really ramp up, like, Halo 3 armors, because then they gave us Recon and Rogue, and I think they gave us Security, or one of them. They gave us another one, but EOD. They gave us the EOD, which I would love.
Oh, I love the EOD
I would
so
love
much.
for that to return, but... Yeah,
well,
the
there is
Halo
a
3 Mark
Jazzwares
6.
figure of it.
That's right.
A Halo 3 EOD?
Oh no, I meant Infinite.
Oh. I was like, excuse me, sir?
When you said return, my brain instantly went return, current. He must be talking about
I
Infinite.
literally mean like a Halo 3 EOD. I would love for Mega to make another one of those, because the green one was gorgeous.
It's a sexy figure.
But yeah, the Halo 3 Mark 6 is definitely my 5th figure in my top 5. I love that mold so much. But just like you guys did, I do have a couple honorable mentions, and the one was the EOD, because we've only seen it once, and it's so good. The helmet looks really good, and I would love to see that again. My second honorable mention is probably the new articulation Jackal.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the any of the new ones that Mega's coming out with next year, like I think they're doing a sniper jackal in the gun use.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited for. But like the new articulated jackals, the molds,
the smaller
the head molds,
chests.
just looks perfect. They nailed it.
The current one we've got is the freebooter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, that just looks amazing. Like when I think of Bungie era Jackal, like that's what comes to mind. It looks spot on. I think they did a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably going to redo the skirmisher with that at some point, right? Because they literally just reintroduced that figure, and right before they made the jump to the like fin body design.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they'll revisit that and implement that for that figure as well.
Yep.
I hope so. Oh my goodness! So let's go through our...
Hold on, I have one more to mention. Just a goofy
well, if
one.
we're doing that, I'll find another one.
Just a goofy one.
Come on.
I just want to mention the UNSC technician, the white one.
Yes.
From the cryo or armor base set. It's just because it's goofy, and we don't get many figures that are like non-combat figures, and he's one of them. And I want like 20 of them, but I only have one or maybe two. Because that would be fun to do like a whole like setting where they're all kind of working on the ship or something like that, and then I think that would be good for mods and diorams and stuff like that.
That'd be awesome.
Honestly, my like dream what do they call them? Platoon pack would be a Halo Combat Evolved platoon pack with the Halo Combat Evolved Chief as like the one Spartan figure, and then have like 3 Combat Evolved Marines and 2 technicians.
That'd be cool. Yep.
And make it so like the Marines, one of the Marines has got a bandana, one of them's got a boonie hat. It would just be so cool. I am gonna very quickly off the back of that also shout out the UNSC officer that came with the Forward Unto Dawn.
Yes,
because that's another very cool, unique figure.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I hunted for that figure for years.
I think I threw mine away when they upgraded to super articulation.
You did not.
I was like, oh, I won't need it anymore.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
So anyway, so going back through our lists.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is Matt Salvatore, and I thought I'd sneak in really quick, because, you know, they wouldn't let me on the episode, to talk about my top 5 figures. If anything, just to bring a little more sanity back to the conversation, because you know Tom's probably pulled out some new Mombasa police figure or some Halo 4 hockey pad Marine, and you know that's just not going to stand. So I want to preface this, my top 5 list with a couple of things. First, my top 5 does not include any of the Halo 20th anniversary set. Why? Because I do not have a Halo 20th anniversary set. So it would kind of feel disingenuous to pick a figure that I don't have in hand. And I think having a figure in hand changes a lot, perspective, how you feel about the figure. So I don't ever want to give my full thoughts or pick them as my top 5, even though Ratas looks absolutely amazing and all the figures in that set look great. I'm going to reserve that, that spot to be on the top 5 until I actually have the figures in hand. Next up, usually, and this is kind of a bad habit with me, is that my favorite figures tend to be my favorite characters in the game. So my list is probably kind of generic because, my favorite figures, in my opinion, have the coolest armor. So when they get translated into figure form, I think seeing the level of detail that Mega has nailed actually kind of makes me like the figures even more. Alright, I think I have everything out of the way. Oh, but before I do, I did really enjoy your guys' Halo 5 discussion. So it was hilarious that Gabe was arguing that the Infinity was just a shelf piece after I told him Forward Unto Dawn was just a shelf piece. I found poetic justice or tragic irony out of it. Either way. Alright. Top 5. So, my first figure to be number 5 on the list, which will be, I guess, we're going in, least to favorite, least to greatest. Number 5 is the Elite General. I love this figure. I think it's absolutely perfect. I can't wait for Mega to come out with other colors, maybe like a little white and red. But it is such a detailed figure. Without a doubt, one of the coolest figures and Sangheili that Mega has done. I think it's just the right amount of bulk. I think it's just the kind of, I think the helmet that he's wearing is amazing that it fits on his head. I think the level of detail that was added in this hero's figure is sublime. So I can't wait to see what Mega does more with this mold, added colors. Like, you know, I like the yellow or the gold, I guess, you know, if you want to get technical. But I would really like to see some other colors that Mega could throw at us. So this guy, number 5, well done, Mega, on that one. I really like this guy. Next up, see, this gets into my kind of point about it's my favorite characters. They're just translated figures. So Emil. This is the Halo Heroes Emil. So I have to say, they have continued to step up their game every time with Emil. Now, we do get an Emil in the 20th anniversary set, so that might be even better, but as of right now, I'm going with the Heroes version. I love the splashes of red. I love what they did with the little leg decal right here. The scuffs and the scratches really kind of shows this Spartan has gone through a lot of battles. I think the face skull continues to get better. The original one that came out, the Mongoose, was very hard to see. I think they've really kind of honed in on how to make that look absolutely perfect. The level of detail on this figure, it can't be matched. Next, for number 3, is the Halo Infinite Marine. Now, the Halo Infinite Marine is obviously, he's not a main character. He's more of a stand-in for all the Marines that are in Halo. But this figure, the Halo Infinite figures for this Marine is perfect. And it's perfect in a lot of ways. I think let's start talking about the customization of this figure. No other Halo figure, Marine or Spartan, really has this level of add-on detail that you can give it, and customization within it, you know. You can have different shoulder pads, you can do the different faces. I think having different faces is huge, because when you're building an army, you don't want everybody to look the same. This isn't a clone army, although clone armies are cool. You know, it's nice that you can have a guy with a beard, you can have a lady, you know, stuff like that. I think that adds a level of detail that really personalizes the Marines, or makes them feel more like individual characters and not just generic bots or whatever they are. I love that you can add the leg wrists and the leg straps and all the little add-on attachments. I love that Mega has made it so that the helmet can come off. I think that's a huge step in making this figure amazing. Another really cool little tidbit about this figure is the legs design. It was really kind of nice to see Mega respond in a, you know, it heard the community's complaints about how the legs were too long, and they fixed that. I think that's kind of neat. So it's nice to see that too. I think the color's perfect. I love the color of the armor. The paint apps on this are great, especially if, you know, you get the ones with the knee pads painted. I know Tom has difficulty with the non-painted knee pads. You can also get sleeveless, so everyone take a drink for Tom, because we have sleeveless Marines. So the Halo Infinite Marine is without a doubt one of my absolute favorite figures, and I have so many now because of that platoon pack, and Mega knew what they were doing with that platoon pack. Next up is actually a new figure that I have. It's actually probably, yeah, my most recent figure pickup would be, I was just able to grab the Razorback, which is a fantastic set. But in that set comes with Kelly, our Spartan Blue Team figure. Now, the thing about Kelly is this isn't her first appearance in Mega. She's obviously in that really awesome Blue Team set. But I think this kind of goes more to my appreciation for the Halo Infinite design aesthetic, where it feels, whereas I feel like Halo 5 was very smooth and curved, right? You know, the armor felt like it wasn't as, I don't want to use the word blocky, but it was smoother and it felt more streamlined, sleek. Whereas this kind of feels sharper, a little more jagged, and a little more bulkier. I really love this helmet. I love how it has these little side portions that come out and show you that it's not just like a completely open canopy of helmet, but it actually has like points coming out, which is, I think, kind of cool. I think it just adds more to the detail of the helmet instead of it just being just the visor portion. The colors are great. I think the white is actually a better color than the blue. And this is where I'll say, like, figures like Fred that came in the Brute Chopper, I think he's just too blue, whereas I think the blue team set gave him a better blue. So the blue for Fred in the Chopper set isn't my favorite, but I think they really nailed the white here with Kelly, especially with these really nice gold flecks on the side. Kelly does not have her numbers. There was a little bit of pushback on that. I actually don't really care about the numbers, to be honest. In some respects, I think it looks cool, and in others, I can also, you know, understand the argument that it also kind of looks a little goofy. So Kelly, number 2. Last but not least, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, but it's the Master Chief. Now, the craziest thing about the Master Chief is I don't think there's really ever been a bad Master Chief design. I think all of them are perfect for the game that they've come out in, and I think all of them have different things that are pushbacks and, you know, drawbacks and stuff like that. But the figure version of Infinite Master Chief, I've stated before that my favorite version design for Chief's armor is Halo 4 design. I think that is, I don't think Chiefs ever look better. But I do really love the Infinite Chief design. I think it's a perfect blend of original, you know, trilogy Halo with the newer stuff. So I appreciate it for what it is. But the figure of Mega, and why this is my favorite figure, is because I think it encapsulates everything that you want to see from the design. I think it has, especially because we've had so many, you're able to play with the colors a little bit, and you're able to find the version that is perfect for you. So in my hand is the Pelican Chief, and I do like the I haven't opened him up, but I do like the Heroes Chief. He comes with the Brute weapon. He's in a Heroes pack. He's a darker green, and I like that. I appreciate that we're playing with the colors. But this one, the Infinite Chief that comes in the Pelican, has it has a nice, I guess, Gabe, you would say, a dry brush. You know, it has a scuff gray, so it looks like he's like a meal, kind of gone through some stuff, and actually look like someone who's been flown, ejected from a ring and floating in space and bumping into stuff. I think the visor on Infinite Chief, and maybe some vary, but for the most part, consistency-wise, I think the visor on Chief has never been nailed as good as it is here. If you look at previous iterations of Chief, there's always like this like notch of where the visor is supposed to be, and there's like this black or like gray part of the helmet that it doesn't have his full visor, so it always kind of bugged me. You can kind of see that with the Master Chief that came with Infinity. He's got like, it's not the full visor, so I appreciate that the visor is full here. And I'm like I said, paint apps vary, so you might have a Master Chief that's like got the notches, but for the majority of the Chiefs that I've got, the paint on the helmet is actually pretty great. Next up, I just really want to touch on the grooves of the armor. In previous ones, you can kind of, you can see that there are like grooves in the armor, but I think with the Infinite Chief, it really doesn't feel like it's smoothed over. Like the grooves are grooves, and they don't feel like they're grooves that have just been kind of like very lightly put in there. So I like that it gives the armor a bit more variation and not just like, oh, there it is, a smooth leg or something like that. I think the Chief is probably one of the first Chiefs that really can shoulder his weapon. I think it has something to do with the armor plate being a little thinner up here, and maybe the shoulder pads or something like that. So, like I said, my favorite version of Chief is probably Halo 4, but I think this figure, in my opinion, encapsulates everything that I want to see out of a figure that is showing my favorite character. And I think this figure, something about it just gets me, every time I see it, it gets me hyped for Halo, you know. I can't wait for campaign. So that's my top 5 list. I did want to give an honorable mention. Again, we're going back to my favorite character, the Master Chief. The Halo Heroes Anniversary Series 10, where they think they did the 10 for 10. You guys might have to correct me on that one, but it's the one that came with like the diadact and all the gold weapons. The Halo CE Master Chief. I don't think there has been a CE version of Master Chief that is better. I think, again, with like my compliments to Infinite Chief, I think the visor was nailed perfectly. I think the colors are good. We did get a previous Chief in the Heroes line that looked like he had like beat a Sangheili and like the blood was all splattered on him because he was all blue. So I want to give it an honorable mention to that Master Chief. But that is my top 5 list. Thank you guys for letting me sneak on here and just kind of give you my top 5 to bring a little more sanity back to the conversation. Tom, I'm looking at you. As always, evolved.
I have Halo 5 Arbiter, the original Brute Chieftain, the Elite Warlord, the Halo 3 Mark 6, and the 10th Anniversary Series rookie figure.
Yeah.
Colin, what are your top 5?
Different order, but I had said Atriox, the Promethean Knight Battle Wagon, Urtas the Doom, the Pelican Inbound Hunter, and Kelly from Blue Team.
Kelly from Blue Team. And Tom, what about you? Where are you? Just to list them off.
Mr. Chief, Mrs. Chief, Miss Chief, Master Chief, and Grandfather Chief.
Master Chief.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Chief.
Halo 4 only technician, Series 3 Elite Honor Guard, Spartan CQC from Series 7, Captain Thomas Lasky from Series 6, and the Halo 4 Master Chief from the Master Chief Collection.
Absolutely amazing lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, before we finish up with the show, I think we have a few community shout-outs that we actually would like to do, and I've got 2 that I'll start us off with because they're super cool people, and I really think you should go check them out. The first one on Instagram is sassy.crocodile, who he helped me a lot, but he's done this thing where he's made like the custom base bodies for Halo 3 Brutes.
Yeah.
He extended the lower legs, the torso, the arms, the neck, and the head. He custom sculpted the whole face.
Wow.
And that's what I used for my custom Halo 3, my Brute Major. And he cast molds all of them. And he's an amazing guy. He's UK based. He's super humble, super talented. He's also done a bunch of elite head molds where they're like Halo 3, Halo 2 style elite faces. I don't know how he sculpts such tiny stuff, but they're amazing. And my second community shout out is _Durdrick_customs_ on Instagram. And he sculpted a Halo Reach Elite Ranger. I'll put a picture in here so we can put it in the video because it's literally the cleanest looking custom figure I have ever seen. Like, I hope if I make an Elite Ranger, it looks like his. He did an amazing job. It's got custom like a chest, helmet, shoulders, thighs. Everything about it is amazing. So definitely go check those 2 people out if you have Instagram. Either one of you, do you have any community folks?
Go ahead, Tom.
Cool. First thing I was going to say is Sassy, since you're UK based, if you happen to be in the southeast, then drop me a DM at Tom_Jurassic and let's hang out and maybe work on some content so we can share your customs with more people.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Great.
Secondly, I want to shout out Sam Urais. I think that's right. If not, I'm going to get absolutely obliterated in the Discord for not saying it properly, but we're going to go with it anyway.
Nice.
Highlighted Nick Brick's Lego Halo Magnum to us, and some of the other guns he's done as well with their custom reloads. Nick Brick in general does an insane amount of in-game and like video game gun builds. So I know I've watched a lot of stuff he did from Black Ops 2 when that was out. He did like the hammer, the FAL, all of that kind of stuff. So really, really cool YouTuber. If you're a little bit into your weapons and you want to see some Lego weapons, that was not where I saw this conversation going, but there we go. I went with it anyway. If you like your guns, go and watch Nick Brick.
Yeah.
I'll go with 2, and I played Halo Infinite with Eggsy, who does stop motion animation.
Oh yeah.
And I just wanted to shout out Eggsy. That's awesome. I'm glad you're part of the community and keep it up. I haven't seen stuff from him lately, but hopefully he puts more stuff out there. And then also on the stop motion front is I want to shout out Matt, our very own Matt Salvatore, because I think he's working on a new series for Infinite, and I think it's gonna be cool.
Hopefully we'll be getting him back on some episodes at some point too as well. It's just all of our time zones have changed, clocks have gone forwards and back, and it's hard to
work schedules and
we're working
Start
on
to
that.
coordinate sometimes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I think that will do it for our show. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Build with Blocks. If you like the show, feel free to support us at Podcast Evolve on Patreon. Until next time, evolved.
Evolved.
Mr. Chief is actually the best figure Mega Construx I've ever made. Okay, thanks, bye, evolved.